since then, I've kind of been hesitant to wear my Birkin and Kelly. It was a Coco handle that was not in the best condition. I think that is why there is a trend to buying beat up bags, because it literally is less desirable to thieves, and we're just trying to like dim ourselves down so we don't look like a target, because I think that's actually quite a shame. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. So today I wanted to talk about the topic of trend towards quiet luxury, low-key bags, vintage, why more people are going for that beat up bag look, and how we're feeling about all the price increases and the trend towards buying less as well, and how I've noticed myself change in the way that I buy bags over the last year or so. So firstly, I was inspired to make this video from Sophie Showhet, who was talking about bags that she wished she had bought before they went up in price, and she mentioned that actually there are less bags than she thought that she wanted, and that some bags that in the past she probably would have wanted to buy, she now no longer desires those bags. And one bag that she mentioned was the Chanel Classic Flap, which she does have a few of. However, of course, a lot of people would have preferred to have bought multiple classic flaps, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, because now they are investments and they can probably sell for more than what you can buy. But she also mentioned that these days she tends to actually wear her vintage Chanel bags more because she feels like less of a target. And vintage Chanel, although it looks nice, you know, it's got the distinguishable Chanel logo on it, it's beat up and, you know, less puffy, and it doesn't seem as appealing to someone who may want to steal it, and it makes you less of a target wearing it. So that made me really reflect on myself as well, because I found myself gravitating towards much more pre-loved bags that are under a certain price point, and bags that are a little bit less distinguishable as well. And that's perhaps because I'm also a little bit afraid of being targeted, or but for even just people to judge my bag, because, you know, I don't like receiving comments of like, you know, oh, is that a Chanel bag? Is that an Hermes bag? Sometimes they're comments that are made, you know, in, I don't know, or like, you know, it might be just another handbag lover being like, oh, I love your bag. But sometimes these comments can be a little bit judgmental, not to mention that if you're out in the city or a shopping center, you are almost a target with having a really expensive bag. I think that's also why initially, like I would say last year, I was really thinking to save up for a Birkin 25, which is still kind of how I feel, but I know a part of me would probably not wear that bag as well. I would like to have it in my collection, but the reason why I probably wouldn't wear it is because I would feel a little bit like a target, because that is a bag that has very high resale value, and it's, you know, very recognizable as well. Similar to the Constance bag, which was on my wish list, but then I kind of took it off because, again, it's very distinguishably Hermes, which I don't know, I just don't like as much. And I did used to own a lot of new Chanel bags. I had a new yellow classic flap in small size, which was so cute, but I was scared I was going to get it dirty or ruin it. And Sophie Showhet was also saying, like, a lot of her Chanel bags, she's actually scared to use them because she's scared that by using them and putting some wear and tear in them is going to affect their resale value. And the fact is, a lot of new Chanel bags don't look as good when they're super worn in. And although, you know, when you spend full price for a bag as well and you get marks on it and stains, it does, you know, impact on you emotionally a little bit. It can. Like, thousands of dollars going down the drain, basically. Like, having severe damage on a bag can devalue it quite substantially, and nobody really wants to do that. Even if you have a lot of money, no one wants to ruin such an expensive bag because it just costs so much. So buying new Chanel bags now, it seems like, you know, I know from experience, I bought a lot of new Chanel bags and I was a little bit afraid to use them because they are delicate. They might be, you know, in more delicate leathers, or they might be in iridescent, which can wear off, and they're just not bags that you can really wear every day, which is why I switched to Hermes bags, because I feel like they last longer, they look better for longer, and that kind of made me feel a little bit more at ease with that. I find that a lot of Chanel bags, like, I don't know, they are hard to wear every day because you don't want to affect the resale value, which is why I think there is a trend towards vintage Chanel, because it already has that little bit of wear into it. And also vintage Hermes, like, you know, the beat up Birkin look, worn in bags, slouchy hobo bags, distressed leathers. Like, for example, Miu Miu has a few bags with distressed leather, which I think is quite interesting. Crinkle leathers, like you find these worn in leathers, I think at the moment are really coming back in fashion. Not because they necessarily look good, but they do look like a little bit more lived in and natural. And maybe there is that underlining fear that people have that they're going to get mugged and they don't want to wear anything that looks too good, that will make them a target or make them look too special, which actually I think is quite sad, you know. Sophie even mentioned in one of her videos that she wouldn't buy Cartier love bracelets or anymore because she wouldn't like to wear a stack of Cartier bracelets because she thinks it will make her look like a target. And are we just like I don't know, uglifying ourselves, guys? Like, what am I trying to say? Are we just trying to, like, dim ourselves down so we don't look like a target? Because I think that's actually quite a shame that this whole, like, quiet luxury thing is coming into fashion because we're too scared to express our exuberant fashion sense or, like, our over-the-top fashion sense. Is it that we can't wear our beautiful diamonds and Cartier and big Chanel logos anymore because we're scared? I think that's kind of a shame. And I think that, you know, although we'd like to say, oh, you know, just wear what you like, embrace who you are, go to the office and wear your Chanel jumbo, like, at the end of the day, it's not realistic for this day and age. A lot of us are kind of scared to get mugged and to be judged at work or wherever, to have these, you know, big designer labels on us. And I think that's, you know, just a sign of the times. I think that is why a lot of brands are trying to gravitate towards less logos, and people are investing more in these, like, beat up bags and beat up Birkins because they don't necessarily want to have anything that is too precious on them anymore. Because yeah, these new Chanel bags, new Hermes bags are really expensive, and you want to kind of protect the integrity of the bag for as long as possible. Now, recently I've noticed within myself, as I said, I did want to buy a Birkin 25, and at one point I was even considering a Constance, but the reason why I didn't buy those bags this year is because I found out myself buying other bags which were a little bit more affordable in the pre-love market and also less distinguishable, which made me feel like I would be less of a target. Last year, I actually went to the city and I bought this Kelly bag. I've told you guys this story before. I bought this Kelly bag with me, and there was a man, like, walking really close to me, and my boyfriend kind of, like, took me out of the way because it kind of looked like he was, like, trying to size me up or, like, almost steal my bag. He was really looking at this bag. And ever since then, I've kind of been hesitant to wear my Birkin and Kelly's in the city by myself. Like, I kind of have to be with my boyfriend or something, which is why I've been reaching more for my Bolide bag and, like, my garden party or things like my Plume bag, because I'm not really a target with these bags. They don't look distinguishably designer, and the resale value is nowhere near as high as something like a Birkin or Kelly, which, you know, a lot of people know that this kind of style is either a Birkin or Kelly, and I think people who are looking to steal also can distinguish that with Hermes. Similar with, like, you know, the Chanel Classic flap. And I remember actually a few years ago, Tamara Kalanick, when she got robbed, it was funny that the bags that the robbers left behind were, I think they left behind a few Bottega bags, which were, you know, a bit under the radar, and they also left behind her Coco handle, which she had worn to death. So it was a Coco handle that was not in the best condition. That's kind of what the robbers left behind. I remember her saying that. So yeah, that makes me think, like, I think that is why there is a trend to buying beat up bags, because it literally is less desirable to thieves, and nobody wants to be a target, and nobody wants to, yeah, I guess, have their eyes on them for the wrong reasons as well. I think that is why I never wear my Birkin and Kelly's, like, recently, because I don't want to be a target. And I don't know if that's something that I should change within myself, whether I should just, like, go out freely with my Kelly and my Birkin, but at the same time, I don't want to be targeted. So I think that's why I've been buying bags such as, like, my Bolide bag, which is cute, it's bubblegum, but maybe less people would know this is a designer bag. Even bags like my Trim bag. This is not a trim bag, this is a plume bag. This is my most recent purchase, and you know, it's the same leather as a Birkin. Feet like a Birkin, the inside is Chev leather. It was 1,998 Australian dollars. If I was going to get a blue jean Birkin, maybe it would be, you know, over $10,000, 11,000, maybe even 20,000 if it's like a Birkin 25, you know, it's kind of a whole different price point. And lately I just feel a lot more comfortable wearing something that is less expensive for a designer bag and also less recognizable. I find that with the current bags that I'm buying, they're a little bit more durable, which makes me less worried about, you know, them getting worn in. Like the other day, my mum spilled coffee on this and it was fine, so I was quite happy with that. Also, I feel like less of a target with these Hermes non-quota bags, which is why I think I wear them a lot more than my Birkin and Kelly, as I said before. Another example of a bag that I really enjoyed using lately is my Ferragamo top handle bag, which is vintage, and I actually went to a wedding recently and I wore this bag and it was raining. I wore this bag and it looks nice, like it looked classy. It got wet. It was fine because I paid like $200 as opposed to like $2,000-3,000 for a designer bag, and I really enjoyed wearing it. I thought it looked fancy. I love this vintage gold hardware, the rich 24K hardware. I loved the vintage look of it, and you know, I didn't feel like a target wearing it. I didn't feel like people at the wedding would judge me for wearing a designer bag because it looks vintage. So it made me feel more comfortable to wear than if I was wearing like a Chanel mini or something like that, a pristine new mini or a mini Kelly at a wedding. Like then I would feel a little bit more like, oh, you know, I would, my brain would be on my bag and not the wedding, if that makes sense, because it was raining, there was like a lot of people, and although it's still a statement bag, it wasn't like, you know, oh my gosh, is that a Chanel bag kind of thing. And another thing that I think is really interesting that is playing into why people might sway away from certain bags is, I guess, fake bags as well. I do think that fakes are ruining people's perception of very popular handbags like the Chanel Mini, the Classic Flap, the Louis Vuitton Speedy, the Birkin, the Kelly. There are a lot of, you know, fakes out there as well that people are buying, and it's kind of got to a point where people can't tell the difference between a real and a fake bag, and I look at someone and think, oh, is that like a real bag or a fake bag? And I think for me that although I don't really care what other people think, it's kind of like, as a handbag enthusiast, you kind of want to buy bags that don't look like it could be a fake kind of thing. Maybe that's also something that plays on my mind a little bit as well. I'm not sure, but I do think that the counterfeit market is impacting on the bags that people buy as well. And I've had a lot of people say to me, you know, they don't want to buy Louis Vuitton monogram anymore because fakes have ruined it for them. And I think, you know, that's a shame as well. And should we be looking down at Louis Vuitton monogram because it is heavily replicated? I don't know. Anyways, thanks for listening to my blabby video today. What was even the point of my video? What was I even talking about? Why I'm buying less desirable bags. Yes, this is why I'm buying less desirable bags, guys, because one, I don't want to be a target. Two, I want to be more, you know, under the radar, and I don't want people to judge me, and yes, and maybe I should care less about what other people think. I think that's right. I think maybe as I get older, as I become more confident, I'll probably care less, but at the same time, I just don't want to put myself into a situation where it's like awkward or weird, so I'd rather just wear a low-key bag, enjoy my handbag, my secret handbag obsession by myself. Not really secret, by the way, obviously, but you know, it's just, that's how I found that I'm buying bags lately. A little bit different to when I started out on my handbag journey. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys, and thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!